Okay. Hope everybody can hear me. We are live with Danica. I'm sorry, say your name correctly.
Dekila.
Dekila Jones. How are you today?
I am good.
It's so good to see your face. Haven't seen you in such a long time.
I know.
Uh, the I'm just gonna call you D.
All right.
Okay, but you see her real name up there. Uh, D and I met. Was it 2018?
This sounds about right.
2018 at Houston Tilson College, and it was a book festival. And you were the coordinator on that, correct?
Yeah, I was one of the planners for it. Yep.
I thought you were
And I
the
think
planner.
well, yeah, I was like the yeah. But I think it was at Austin Community College.
Oh, really? Why did I think it was Houston Tilson?
Because we had other events at Houston Tilson, but
Okay, yeah, because there was a lot going on at that time. Okay,
mhm.
so it was at Austin Community College where I met her, and I was late.
Yeah, the weather was bad that weekend.
Yeah, but I think I was just running on CP time. I can't say it was the weather. I think I was on CP time, and I think so. I was reading some poetry that day, and so I saw her coming in, and I asked her where I was supposed to be, and she directed me on where to go. But yeah, I was on CPT time. I can't say I was. I can't say it was the weather. So she D just does a lot of different things. I mean, this woman is just so incredible, and I just had to interview her. So we're going to start off with D was she went to a HBCU. So for some of you guys who don't know what that means, that is a historically black college or university. Now, you want to tell them a little bit about that? Which university did you go to?
So I went to Florida A&M University. It's located in Tallahassee. Actually, it's like right around the corner for Florida State, but um, and it's approximately maybe 3.5, 4 hours from my hometown.
Yeah, what's your hometown, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm originally from Mississippi, right off of I-10, um, on the Gulf Coast, about an hour from Pensacola, west
Okay.
west of Pensacola.
Now you said that. Now, saying that, is that the reason why you chose to go to that college because it was close to home?
So you know what, I had to think about that, and I was thinking about it today. I'm like, why did I choose it? So um, I guess my thought process when I was in high school back then, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to leave. I got to get out of, like everybody from a small town, they had to get out of their hometown. And so my high school had this program where for the summer you can go and visit uh, different schools in Mississippi.
Hmm.
So I probably, as a matter of fact, I want to say, I'm trying to think and see were there any white students with us, but it was mostly majority was black. And so we took the summer. I can't remember if it was a month or 2 months, but we packed our suitcase and we went and stayed a day or two at each colleges in Mississippi. So we went to some PWIs.
Now,
Uh,
what's PWI?
so that's what they call public or private white institution. So white schools. We visit some of those campus. I went to Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Then they, brought us down to, the HBCs that's in Mississippi. Jackson State, Mississippi Valley State, Alcorn, and so after visiting those schools, I was like, I definitely do want to go to a school in Mississippi.
Mhm.
And so at that time, we was trying to figure out how to pay for school
Mhm.
because my mom, she made pretty good money, but not enough to send me to school, but too much to get financial aid.
Right. Okay.
And so at that time, um, my best friend in high school, her brother was in ROTC program, and then she applied for ROTC scholarship, and then she ended up telling my mom about it. My mom like, "That's what you gonna do." So I applied for this scholarship, and so the scholarship had a list of, so you can apply for a general or a ROTC scholarship to go to those PWI schools or whatever, or you can apply for I guess it was a second pool of scholarship just earmarked for HBCUs. So I was like, that's what I want to do. So I looked at the list and I just picked, I think we had to pick three schools or whatever to get accepted. But I did that, and so I picked FAMU and then Southern Baton Rouge, Southern University in Baton Rouge, and that was the other school. So I
Mhm.
think I only had just picked two, but it's another HBCU in I think it's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Mhm. Okay. What are the advantages to going to a HBCU? What do you think are the advantages to going to if you're a black uh, or African American, whatever you want to call yourselves? What is the advantage of going to a HBCU?
Well, I think first and foremost, um, I think the stigma in the past when I went and probably years before that, that you won't get a good education,
Mhm. Mhm.
or or that when corporate look at your resume that you went to the school is frowned upon. It's not the PWIs or,
Mhm.
but I think at black schools or HBCUs, I should say, you're not a number, right?
Mhm.
So, like, if you go to a classroom setting, because I remember when I toured the campus at Mississippi State, and they did like demonstration, science demonstration, and we was in these like auditoriums, and everybody just like you see on TV, everybody sitting in the seats, and the professors
Mhm.
don't know you.
Mhm.
It's because there's so many of them. But the classes at where at FAMU, and I'm just going to speak on that. They're not as large where the professors don't know you or can interact with you. And
Mhm.
so I would say first and foremost is the professor student ratio,
Mhm.
and then the second most is in the camaraderie environment. So, you know, when I was going to school, it was just black excellence. Yes,
Mhm.
black students everywhere.
Mhm.
But then is that the different, I won't say different types of blacks, but you have, you know, students from Chicago, Detroit, Miami, and then it's that that bonding that you get to do, and then it's like and of course if you don't surround yourself with positive people, you can go down that road, but it's like everybody wants to do well, right?
Mm.
And everybody, and then it's that pride in the different programs and clubs, the Greek life, the bands, the teams, the sports. Is that fellowship that you have, and so it's I would say it's more of a a family. It's a family atmosphere
Mhm.
that you get to experience
Mhm.
while getting your education. Because the professors there, they're gonna push you.
And do you think uh, that they push you more at a black college? Explain that.
Um, I would say they well they push you to a certain extent. So because the classrooms are not as big and they see the potential in you because
Mhm.
the classroom not as big, of course they're gonna you know push you to to greatness. But like
Right.
if you in a huge classroom, they give you your syllabus and you're on your own, which is the same you know, at HBCU, but I think the professors there they care and they're gonna check and and the ones who want to do well they're gonna make sure they have the resources that they can.
Great, great. Going to a HBCU, did the alumni take more? Did they like really come and talk to you guys? Did the alumni make it a point to come and see you guys and talk to you guys? Okay.
So with me, I would say when I attended, I was in Army ROTC,
Mhm.
and so um, the alumni or the officers that had got commissioned that left, they will always come back and try to link up with you know the other cadets that was graduating, getting commissioned, that was going certain duty stations. And so the plan was to you know link us up. If you go into this post, we're gonna link you up with another graduate, FAMU graduate, to make sure you manage the real world of the military. So um, that was a portion of coming back. I know it wasn't as great when I was in school. I know since I've been out, I want to say since I've been out, before I got out, I should say,
Mhm.
we some graduates had started a leadership conference with the students that's in the program, the ROTC program, and because being an officer in the army is some unwritten rules and stuff like that. Not so much being from HBCU, but just trying to navigate the officer role in the army. And so I think as far as the military aspect, we have to go back to try to help out with that. Now I can't really speak on the students that graduated and went to corporate America or whatever. So I don't know how often they go back besides to games and stuff and supporting. But I think the our school gotten better with giving back with technology and stuff. So you didn't really have to be there on campus to give back. Campaigns that come out through social media where it's almost like a challenge on who donating the most money and stuff like that. And then they do it by incoming class.
Mhm.
So I know last year was my 30th year when I attended, and so we had a fundraiser campaign that then we had our reunion during homecoming last year.
Okay, so let's go back to you were talking about the Greek life. So I know that you pledged. What did you pledge and how was that?
Okay, so I didn't pledge in college. I pledged graduate.
Okay.
but I did pledge. So there's this organization that's was for ROTC. So
Mhm.
that's just National Society of Persian Angel, which is at several other HBCUs. So it's a national organization, but it's pretty much service and drill. Drilling with the weapon and doing your marches and stuff like that. So I did that while I was in college, and so it was me and two other ladies, and the one that that I did pledge with. I mean, we still keep in touch. She's lived down in San Antonio right now,
Mhm.
but yeah, I guess sisters, Persian Angel sisters, and um, freshman classmate because we came in together.
Mhm.
And now Delta Sigma Theta because I did pledge graduate chapter Delta Sigma Theta about 6 years ago.
Okay, what is the difference when you pledge graduate chapter as opposed to pledging doing undergrad?
Um, well, it's the same standards,
Mhm.
um, criteria. I think the fees may be different, but they still look at your GPA. You have to
Mhm.
have a certain GPA. You have to have a certain amount of hours doing community service. Um, I think the difference is depending on your body is the I mean it's I don't think it's a whole lot difference, but well, I really can't say since I didn't do it in college.
Mhm.
Uh, I know doing it as a grown woman, I had had the time and the money
Right.
essentially, because when
Mhm.
I did it, I had just retired from the military.
Mhm.
So and it was meant to be. I mean, God knew what I wanted, and it just happened in that order.
Okay. Let's go back. You said that you were in the Army ROTC. Uh, what was that like? Because I was actually supposed to be in the Air Force ROTC, but I was just like, nah, I'm not trying to do that. But so what was that like?
Okay, I don't know how honest I should be.
Well, if you got, but just if you want to, you know, pull back a little bit, that's cool. But just say whatever that you want to say.
I hated it because it was so. Mind you, when I applied for the scholarship, it was not because I wanted to, right?
Mhm.
And I wasn't uh I wasn't around ROTC in high school. We
Mhm.
didn't have army people around. I mean, we had Navy, but it was a small little, base. Uh,
Mhm.
but I wasn't familiar with military, didn't know the ranks. So, but it was money.
Mhm.
It was a means to education. And
Right.
so, but that wasn't my desire. I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I
Mhm.
know being an army wasn't it. And so the scholarship was, they pay for your tuition, your education. Then once you done to get commissioned in the army, then you have to, you know, serve. I think it was 4 to 8 years. You can do
Mm.
4 years active and other 4 reserve. So, um, and that's what I did. I would say it just wasn't. I guess the control and stuff it wasn't my nature, and it's good for some people. They love that.
Mhm.
I question the culture because it
Mhm.
is a culture. Um, but I mean it definitely provided me some benefits and opportunities that other people haven't had. And I'm always cognizant of that, but
Mhm.
I definitely I think I probably would have went ahead and been in the army, but I wouldn't have stayed in for 20 years. I probably would have got out early. And
Oh, you like my dad. My dad stayed in for 25.
yeah, I
Yeah.
but it was like at that point, after my 10-year point, I was like, okay, let me just, you know, I was just doing it for. I wasn't doing it for the love of the organization or the country.
Mhm.
But I mean, it is good. The military is good for people who need structure,
Mhm.
right? Who need who lost and they need a means to leave a bad situation. I'm all for it, and it's good
Right.
for some people, and that's what they need. But for me, I never thought I needed it. Um, I just did what I had to do to. I think with my work ethics and how I operated, I just did what I had to do to survive and do well because
Mhm.
I don't want to. I never was a mediocre type of person. Like if I get a task, I'm gonna do it well and do it to standard or whatever.
Mhm.
But it yeah, but just the politics and I yeah, it just wasn't me. And that probably because I just didn't love it like that. I didn't love the army like that.
Mhm.
And so I mean, I was grateful for the people I met and then the opportunities I had to further my education, to travel, all over the world. But yeah, that culture is just wasn't me. I didn't love it like that. Sometimes it took me a while. It took me, I don't know, about 10 years. 'Cause I was embarrassed for people to see me in the uniform.
Mm. That's deep.
I just didn't want nobody to know I was in the army.
What was your rank
Talking about when I
when
got
you
out,
were in the army? What did you retire as?
Lieutenant Colonel.
Whoop 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 whoop. I wish I
And
could do. I wish I had my horn. Bam bam bam. That's really good.
and then
That's really good.
I think we be so most of us are so institutionalized.
Mhm.
It may be some others that hated it, or I don't know, but I was like, I'm not gonna not be true to myself and say, "Ooh, I just love every bit of it." I hate
Right.
it. I could think of so many moments that I hated it. I was like, "Why in the world did I do this?"
Mhm.
Especially them freaking cold winters in Korea out
Mm.
there doing field problems in the freaking cold. Yeah, it's yeah.
And my okay, here's a question. Veronica Campbell, did you experience racism?
It's not blatant like how
Mhm.
it is now. Like I said, since the last president, it's like people got the courage to say and do anything to you. But
Mhm.
it was slick. But I'm gonna tell you, not so much. Okay, yeah, I experienced racism, but what really got me, um, I guess, sexism,
Mm.
being a woman leader.
Right.
So I experienced that, and also what I was gonna say. Okay, so being a woman leader, so I would have the white soldiers. They would definitely respect my rank.
Mhm.
Issue sometimes I would have issue with uh black males, not so
Mm.
much the females, but black males.
Mhm.
Challenging your authority and stuff. You would think, okay, they would see, oh, we got a black female officer. Um, that they would be there to support you, like, okay, we gonna take care of her. Oh no, not all the time.
Mm. I'm sorry, my phone's going off. I'm so sorry. But anyways, go ahead. So you felt like you didn't have the
Ooh, I'm sorry,
support.
my phone's going off. I'm so sorry. You
So you
fine.
feeling so you feel like you didn't have the support that you thought you were going to have.
Right. But
Mhm.
as far as the racism, so it would be like it wouldn't be outwardly, if that makes sense. So
Mhm.
it could be
Covert.
yes, that's the word. Uh,
Covert. Mhm.
so like and when you young and stuff, when you don't know, you don't know, right?
Mhm.
So like your reports or your evaluations that they write for you. And then,
Mhm.
on the outside, oh, it sounds real good that the best officer, whatever, whatever. And then, after some years, when I go back and read it, then you see the little digs at you that they put in your evaluation, and so it's little stuff like that, or um, you know, signing you to different jobs, or you getting tasked to do different stuff. You get the worst jobs versus the person you get the job with the most opportunity to excel upward and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
um, I would see now. I would tell you it's now I had some great um white bosses, male bosses. Well, even female too, but I would say it's a couple of the male bosses I still keep in contact with today. So,
Mhm.
but I would I would tell you the system. I mean, the army's not perfect. You're gonna have some racist, where there are some racist people in there, but they try to put systems into place to make it fair as far as
Mhm.
promotion and stuff go wise. So if you want the opportunities to excel, you can, but you
Mhm.
definitely have to. It's I guess it's almost like being in corporate America. It's all about who you know, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
If the current general, that's the or whatever, you want this other job, you can tell that general, and they'll talk to
Mhm.
Jim or Bob or whatever, and they get you in that position. It's all about who you know. It is a game, and it
Mhm.
took me 10 years to just accept it and learn how to play the game. And so after my 10th year, I'm like, okay, let me play this game so I can survive and get out this thing.
Mhm. Hmm. Interesting. What were some of the countries that you went to that you were stationed?
Um, so I was in Germany,
Mhm.
um, and then I got deployed one time to Hungary.
What was
Um,
that like? What was Hungary like?
um, Shoot, I think when I went, it was snow everywhere. That was my first time seeing snow.
Wow.
But we were mostly on the base camp, so it looks like, I don't know, South Carolina, North Carolina during the snowfall, I guess.
So you were in Hungary, and where else were you?
Oh, Hungary. So I was in Hungary, and then I was in Germany. Um, I had opportunity to go to Israel. I
Mhm.
wasn't stationed there, but I had to, do work in Israel, Norway. Um, what else did we go? Uh, uh, Not Russia. Not Kosovo. Somewhere on the outskirts of Russia. I can't even think of Latvia.
Mhm.
But I mean, to me, it looked like the East Coast, basically.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
So okay. So you graduated, and then you went straight to the army, and then you got out. What, 20? You said what, 20 years later?
Hmm.
20 years later. You're still very young.
Thank you.
you
I guess
still
I'm a
you
mama.
No, you are. You're still very young, and that's great. So what are you doing now? Let's talk about, you told me you were doing some type of scholarship program.
So Um, what am I doing now? So I would say this. I was married while I was in the army, married to another soldier, and then I ended up getting divorced. And so I don't have any kids. So after I got out, I was like, I have no responsibilities, no dependents.
Mhm.
So, and I looked at my pension. I'm like, I ain't gotta work. So that's what I did. I'm not really working. So I just mostly do a lot of volunteer work with my church. Um,
Say the name of your church so people can know in case they want to go.
with Anderson Chapel AME. And see,
That's
I
in
was
that's in Killeen, Texas, correct?
yeah, it's in Killeen, Texas.
Mhm.
And and I think I was the Holy Spirit had called me to join that church because uh, when I got out the army, and that was a challenge because I was like, okay, well, what is my purpose, God? What is my, what is there for me to do? Because 20 years I did what the army told me to do.
Mhm.
So a friend of mine that I was stationed with in Korea. Oh yeah, I've been to Korea. I forgot about that. When I was stationed in Korea, he invited me to the church, and I never been to an AME church before, and so
Mhm.
it's a little different than your regular Baptist, missionary Baptist. 'Cause I grew up missionary Baptist, so
Mhm.
I end up joining, and then I end up um, the pastor asked me to be on their they have a corporation on their board for
Mhm.
community development corporation, which they do things for the community. They have a clothing kitchen and a food pantry,
Mhm.
and then they have houses that they you know rent out to families in need.
Oh wow, that's good.
And so I do that, not as much now since COVID.
Mhm.
And like I said, I had pledged grad chapters. I pledged Delta Sigma Theta here in Killeen, and so that keeps me really really busy.
Mhm.
Because I work with high school seniors through that group, through that chapter, and then uh, was it last year? Then last year I ended up becoming the scholarship chair for that chapter,
Mhm.
and so throughout the year we just raise money, and then starting in January and February we collect applications, and then starting next month we review the application and then hand out scholarships.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing these days. And then the other thing I was doing, the way I met you is through my friend Anita with her company. So I volunteer and helped her with her company, where she has a magazine company. Well, she got multiple different companies, but we had set the literary festival through for her company, and then she had some other events that we did in Austin. So
Mhm. You're a very busy lady.
yeah, I don't want to be one of those retirees, or I should say, person that just gets super big and be sitting around depressed and stuff. I
Mhm.
think now that I don't have, because when you're in the army, you got to report to somebody 24/7. You on duty 24/7, even if you're not on duty. If that make any sense.
Right.
And so now I just have my freedom. And so,
Mhm.
and then I just look at it, I'm like, well, why not? I have no excuse to say I can't do this or go there, here or whatever.
Mhm.
So I just,
Okay, I'm going to open it up for some questions. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask them. Veronica Campbell said, "Would you ever consider living outside the country?"
yes.
And where?
Um,
Where? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
um, I would say, okay, so I lived in Germany for 4.5 years.
Mhm.
Um, and then you adapt to the language, learning enough to get by, and then you'd be surprisingly a lot of them know more English than you know German or Dutch or whatever. Um, so but you'd be surprised, like wherever you go, the number of Americans that call certain places their home now, or
Mhm.
dual citizenship or whatever. I think, and I enjoyed when I lived in Germany, but I miss like simple stuff. Like I
Mhm.
miss bathtubs.
Mhm.
I miss you know, paying for your gas at the pump because we had to go inside because we had different cards or whatever. I miss
Mhm.
that. Um, I miss closets because they don't have them in the houses there. So the stuff like that, I won't mind living abroad. I probably won't do it more than 3 or 4 years. I have to, have a break.
Right. Well, what country would you move to?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I'm open. I'm not the type. Um, I guess I'm so used to moving so much with the army. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Something that's not, um, you know, a nice community, a nice.
Okay.
So I mean,
I know I wanted to
I don't.
ask you, have you ever been to Panama? Because that's where I want to go. You been to Panama?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, okay. That's where I'm interested in going. I want to go to Panama. Okay.
Because I want to say, because I had several soldiers that used to work for me. They done had moved to different countries. There's one guy. He was I think he's in somewhere in South America.
Mhm.
Then I know plenty of soldiers buying property in Costa Rica, and
Mm.
so I mean, put like this out. I'm not afraid to. I guess that's the better word because
Mhm.
some people have
Mhm.
apprehension about, oh, I gotta move to this foreign company. I'm not gonna know how to do this and that.
Mhm.
You'll figure it out. I mean, yeah, it's not terrifying. Because
Mhm.
I remember when I was living in Germany and I got mad with my ex at the time. I I hopped on a plane and went to London by myself,
Mm.
and then navigating my way to um to the city and went touring the city by myself.
Hmm.
Now I was kind of afraid at first, but then because I flew in, it was dark. But when the daylight came, then
It was on.
it was on. Look, you there with I don't know, millions of other tourists.
Mhm. So, does anybody have any more questions? Okay, now's your time to ask them. I'm sitting here waiting. Okay.
Oh,
Totally off the subject. Did
wait a
you
minute,
watch the? Go
I
ahead.
think
Go ahead.
I think somebody asked about dating.
Yeah, that's my sister. She wanted to know about dating.
Well, uh, you can date whoever except uh. So officers technically don't supposed to date enlisted, especially if they work for you. If you're in the same
Mhm.
chain of command, but uh, if that's the case, you have to let them know ahead of time.
Mhm.
But if you do, it's called fraternization.
Mhm.
But it can be challenging if it's long distance, I guess.
Mhm. Okay. I know what I want to ask you. Did you watch the Super Bowl halftime?
I did.
And what did you think about it?
I loved it. Cause it was more around that music was my era, more or less,
Mm-hmm.
when I was college and high school and college. So and then and even I always was a big Kendrick Lamar fan anyway. And I
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I love Mary and Dre, Snoop and Eminem. So and I guess because the lyrics, even though half the music I can't really understand what they're saying anyway. But um I mean, it was during the time when I was growing up, so I was like, and it wasn't scandalous,
Mm-hmm.
even though since people in news segments try to make it to be some type of controversy.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it. Now it was a lot going on. 'Cause it was stuff I missed that I was reading on social media. I said, let me go back and see what they talking about. I mean,
Right.
a lot going on, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I
That's
like.
good. I know I liked it. I liked Mary. I liked those boots she had on. I was like, ooh, I gotta get a pair of those boots, boy.
And Mary always doing that kick to the side. That's how she dance. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the game. I really didn't watch the game too
I
much.
didn't watch the game. I was just there for the halftime show. That's what I was waiting for. That
Hmm.
was to me, I was just like, yeah, I was dancing. I got up dancing. I loved it. I
Hmm.
loved it. 50 Cent though, I was like, mm-mm.
Yeah. If so, first I didn't know who 50 Cent looked like this cartoon character. I want to say the cartoon with the panda and the bear. Was it Kung Fu Panda
Uh-huh.
when he was hanging there?
Mm-hmm.
But but then after he turned around, he reminded me of Busta Rhyme. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I know Buster Rhymes is girl. Heck yeah.
Yeah, but one point in time, Busta Rhyme was swole too. He was working
Buster
out.
Rhymes still is swole because
Now, well,
yeah.
now Busta Rhyme is fat, but once upon a time he was muscular, but now he's a little chunky.
Yeah, Buster Rhymes chunky, but 50 Cent look chunky to me. He up there talking about people. And I was like, wait a minute. You're talking about people and you look, you don't look that great.
I mean, he wasn't fat. He wasn't cut either, but he was swole. He was just
Yeah,
thick.
yeah, yeah. But I was looking at that stomach on him. I say, wait a minute. You ever try to talk about people all the time, you might want to check yourself.
Girl, hey, that's that power money. Power one, two,
Yeah.
three, four. So
Yeah, and then it's like, is he gonna pass out?
yeah,
He's hanging upside down, and then when he get up, he's like, huh?
girl, you silly.
I said, this fool gonna pass out. He said, hey, party like it's your birthday.
Very silly.
I'm like, I said, this fool any minute. Come, Pastor McCarty, like it's your birthday.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man. Oh, okay. Drop the link. Love to join your panel. I don't know who Dovey Milton is, so I'm not dropping the link. Um, though we were, I'm not. We'll talk about that in the future. I gotta find out who you are before I drop a link for the panel. Anyways, what else was I gonna ask you about? You're an avid reader. What are you reading now?
How to write blogs.
Oh, okay. So that's something you're interested in doing.
I'm thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about it. I guess my thing is I want to um share with women or well, I know this one girl, she was through our ROTC art organization that I was telling you about, Persian Angels.
Mm-hmm.
But she did it at another college, but we're associated by that the organization. And so she had posts on there that her dryer was acting up, and so So she had took it all the way apart to, and put it back together to fix it. And
Mhm.
so and to me, I was like, oh yeah, somebody who's not afraid to try stuff. And so I guess I'm not sure. I just want to, I guess, share my, I guess, chronicles, if you will. Like, doing some things. You ain't got to pay people all the time, but I have to take into consideration that people don't have the time like I do.
Mhm.
But just, I done switched out an outlet in my house, the one that have USB port, and I wanted to, post on there. Okay, this is how you do it. It's not hard. It take less than 20, 30 minutes to do it, and voila. And it's not dangerous if you do the right thing. Changing the signal light bulb in my truck. Voila, go buy the bulb. Bulb costs $2, $3, and you switch it out. So just sharing stuff like that.
Mhm. So
But
so uh-huh.
but with blogs, it gotta be, you know, you- I mean, I was just looking at the ways of making it lucrative, and you got to do more than that.
Mhm.
But I
Right.
guess my thing is like, don't be afraid. Just try it. I
Mhm.
mean, whatever you want to do, you probably can find a YouTube video on how to do it. Somebody else already done it.
Okay. Well, I think that's our time for tonight. Oh, last question. I've been asking everybody this question. Do you call yourself Black American or African American, and why?
I say African American,
Uh huh.
and I say that because it's you you've been institutionalized, if you will, because all the documents and stuff that's what they have on there. And so I did, um, and I got to finish, researching my ancestry. But I did, I guess did I don't know if I did the DNA. I think I submitted the cheek swab, and
Which
so
which which one did you use? Which company? Because I don't know which one to use. So which one did you go with?
I went with ancestry.com. But I mean,
Okay.
I think it's two or three out there. But I mean, I'm definitely in Africa, so
So what part of Africa? What
I knew you was gonna ask me that. It was like um, I want to say it was some countries in the East Coast, like not all the way south, but you know how Africa had a little bend, it bow out, then it goes straight down, like up in that area. And then I want to say that's on the west coast, and then some on the southern um, east coast.
did they give you like a name of the tribe or they
They
believe you're
they
from or
did they did, but that was some years ago when I did that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say
Okay.
I mean, they not so much as a tribe, but they give you percentage of these type of people from this country or whatever.
Mhm.
And I can't remember the countries.
Mm. Okay. So African American. That's interesting. I kind of think also it's a it could be a generational thing because I know like older black people tend to say Negro.
It's you've been institutionalized. That's what I call it. During that time, that's what they call. They probably had that on application and document. What's your race? Negro, you know, Caucasian or whatever. So I
Hmm.
mean,
Or people of color, Negro. I know my friend Mrs. Reinhardt, who is a lot older than me, she said they used to be called colored. Colored.
mhm.
Hey,
I
Miss
think at
Bryant.
one point, I think at one point they was calling them colored.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, I consider myself black, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, but I guess to be politically correct, I say African American.
African American. Okay. I have not made up my mind on that because I know people from Africa and they don't like it when we call ourselves African American because they say you're not from Africa, like they came here directly from Africa, whereas us, we've been taken and also we're mixed with other races. So a lot of them say, well, you're not from Africa, you're not my you if you went to Africa, you wouldn't even know how to speak the language, so on and so forth. And so I understand what they're saying, but we are from Africa. We are, we're descended from Africa. So
Mhm.
why can't we call ourselves African American? Because that is where we were taken from. So I get both sides. So I'm just kind of like in the middle. Just call me Janine, really, if I could just call me Janine. But I understand both sides of that. Some people can say African American, and some people say black. So I get it what both sides are saying. Um, what's my next point?
I mean, I guess it to me it's just how you what you feel comfortable identifying yourself with, if that's what you want to identify yourself with. I mean, I'm like, it's so much other stuff to worry about. I don't even.
Right.
I don't even.
Actually, there is because this fool talking about running again in 2024,
Yeah,
and
and
that.
and 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 people, if they don't stay woke,
Hmm.
because now I'm noticing we send a lot of political ads for the primaries and the general election coming up. So the primary election is March the 1st. So I was supposed to work that election as a clerk
Hmm.
um in my county, and I worked the general election, um, for the president. What was it? 2 years ago, 4 years ago.
Hmm. Yeah.
All I'm
Well.
gonna say is it was sad. I mean it was long lines of people coming, but it was some people that wasn't prepared. They wasn't registered. They was trying to register that day, and I'm like, where you been? I'm like, all these commercials and stuff we was getting bombarded with,
Hmm.
and I guess it was disappointing because it was, because I was out there, black, people was approaching me, our people, and I was like, you know, answering their questions, but I was, highly disappointed.
Mm. Well, I voted today. I early vote because I know a lot of times when you during the day, if you go vote on the day, oh, the machines are down. We don't have enough machines, or it's a problem, and there's usually a long line. So I always early vote. So because I don't want to hear that the machine is down or they change where you're supposed to vote at the last minute. All that craziness trying to prevent people from voting. That's just me. If you anybody out there listening to me, you can early vote through the 25th. So, if even if you don't early vote, vote. Just get out there and vote. And I voted for Beto O'Rourke because I think this is just me. This is my opinion. I think out of all the candidates against Abbott, that he has the most experience, and I want somebody with experience in there. I don't want somebody up in there who don't really know what they're doing. We need experienced people in office. So I voted for Beto O'Rourke, but that's just me, and that's just my opinion. That's all I got to say. Got to roll.
Huh?
So I know you voted already, right?
I haven't.
Are you gonna vote March 1st?
Typically, I normally early vote as well,
Mhm.
but I know from past experience that the election on March 1st gonna be slow.
Mm.
So I'm just gonna vote at the, you know, find a break um, at the precinct I'm working at, and then vote then.
Because people, what? Why do you say it's? Well, how do you? I know why I think you're saying that, but how do you know it's going to be slow?
Because it's not a major election.
Mm.
It's not, election for the president or vice president, or um, well, it is for the governor. But that's the general election in November. So, but the primaries, and they hopefully they will come out in November, but they need to come out, beforehand, because the primaries is where it's a lot of people on the ballot for governor and even attorney general. Ooh, that's a race I definitely want to see.
Mhm.
Um, so whatever ticket you vote on, you have to pick the best person that's gonna beat the other party. So
Mhm.
just people just don't show up. I mean, I done worked the election. We've been there for I don't know 10 hours, and only 200 people show up. So
Mhm. Right. What? 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 Say that again. Wait a minute. Say that again.
I have worked the election, the general, a primary election before. Um, and I think we typically we there all day. I say about 10 hours, and only almost 200 people show up.
Wow. That just blew my mind. The apathy. Wow. And why do you think people aren't voting?
It's a whole bunch of reasons. Because I want to know why, and then I think about um, when I was younger, why I was like I just did it because they say you need to vote. But I
Mhm.
figured that the stuff we was voting on, that it won't affect me, right?
Mhm.
But as you get older, you learning like, okay, some of the laws and stuff do affect you. Some of the things they doing do affect you. Even the school board, even though I don't have any kids, but some of the things that the school board does affect me. Like they putting building more, high schools and stuff. They affect me with the taxes, property taxes, or whatever.
Mhm.
So, but I look on, social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and sometimes I try not to read so much comments
Uh-huh.
because it's so toxic. But
Right.
um, but I try to listen to what other people saying, or I see news outlets interviewing people and asking them why they don't vote, and it'd be a wide range of reasons why they don't vote.
Mhm.
So I mean, who knows? Lazy, maybe that's the bottom line. They lazy,
Mm.
or and the other reason is some people can't get off of work, but that's one of the two bills. I don't know if it's the John Lewis or the other voting rights bill, but one of those bills was was one to make November 2nd
A holiday.
Thursday.
Mhm.
So, but if they do that, then you like, will people use can't get off of work as an excuse to go vote then?
Mm.
I don't know.
Well, we will just have to watch and see, but I'm praying that we get Abbott out of office for a number of reasons, especially when that whole debacle last year with that snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be straightened out. And I know a couple of places here in Austin were without power this last time around when we had this when we had that freeze.
Mhm.
I thank God that we weren't one of them, but I know there were several areas in Austin that the people didn't have power, and the problem was supposedly fixed, but that's not the case. So that's one of the main reasons why I want him out of office, among some other ones, among other ones. But that's one of them. But anyways, do you your vote do count? Okay, your vote does count. Okay, so Dovie Milton saying your vote. Okay, Milton said your vote does count. It's the law that your job has to give you time off early to go and vote.
We wasn't saying that. We were just saying, trying to figure out why people don't go and vote. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Mm. But what I lost what I was getting ready to say. Um, I know we've had this conversation privately, but would you ever consider running for office?
Nope.
Oh gosh. I have been trying to talk her into running for office because she just knows everybody. That is what and the fact that she doesn't want to run for office, this is my train of thought, is what's making her a good candidate because there's no ego involved. She's not like, "Oh, I'm going to run for office so I can run everything and I'm going to be in charge." She's not like that. And I know how much she cares about the community, and I know all the volunteer work that she does. And so I have really been trying to talk her into running for office, but she's resisting.
Yep. Definitely. But look, I know my talents, and God didn't want, didn't want me to do that.
Well, I hope you get the message. I hope God taps you on your shoulder. I hope he goes tip tip tip. You need to run for office because I believe that you would just make a great leader. You know the issues, and you're well connected, and I know that you care about people, particularly the youth. You're always working with the youth, and I'd vote for you. I'd vote for you. Well, depending on what office you run for. If you run for a local office in Killeen, I can't vote for you, but I'd definitely be out there on the trail, you know, getting people to vote for you. I wish just think about it. I know you're saying no, but just think about it. Cause
That's
I
it.
just know that you would just tear it up. You would tear it up.
Yeah, and I don't do that public speaking and debates and all the other stuff. I don't like confrontation. I just like to do what I got to do and get it done.
Mm,
So, and then the politics part of it, I'm like, I was
mhm.
done playing politics when I retired. I'm like, ugh.
That's enough of that.
Hmm. And now, if I do engage in not so much real politics, but like the networking piece, it would be by choice,
Mm,
not because I have to, but
mm,
because I want to.
mm. Okay, girl. Okay, last chance to ask questions. We're gonna give you a couple seconds, and then I'm gonna let Miss D go. Any more questions? Okay, so we're not having any more questions. So trying to get my music playing. I'm trying to get my music to play our way out. It's not playing. But anyways, can't get my music. So I'm gonna go ahead and just let you go, and thank you so much for agreeing to be on this interview. You are somebody that I have been wanting to interview for some time. This lady is phenomenal. What is the name of the can people still donate to that college scholarship fund, or is that over with?
Um, it's kind of it's kind of over with now
Okay.
for
Okay.
for this year's. So
What's the name of the scholarship fund? What is the name of it in case people want to give money for that in the future?
well, it's through Colleen Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So you can go to our website, Colleen Alumni Chapter, and just if you want to make a donation, you can send. And we are 501c7. You can send a check or email some, the email on the website for our PayPal link or whatever to the PO box, the address that's on the website, and then
Great.
you just put attention scholarship.
Great. And the name of your church again, if somebody needs a church home or they want to check out your church, what's the name of the church that you go to?
Is Anderson Chapel AME African Methodist Episcopal Church. It's in Killeen off of Jeffries Road, 1001. I think that's the address, Jeffries Road.
And can they, if they don't go in person, can you watch it online?
Yes. We have presence on Facebook. They have two services on Sundays, 8 o'clock and 10. I normally go to the 8 o'clock service. Maybe it's 11.
Hmm.
But it's on Facebook, YouTube, and I think that's it. I don't think we have Instagram, but I know
Uh,
they do live service on Facebook and YouTube. So you can just search for Anderson Chapel AME.
okay. Okay. Central Standard Time. Okay. Thank you so much for
And
joining us.
HBCUs.
HBCU, Florida A&M University. All right. Thank you. Love you. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe. And we're out. Peace, love, and soul. Bye.
Bye.